Welcome to a flood of content. I guess this will be episode 4, as we had some sound issues last week. If you listen to the audio version, you won't skip an episode. We did talk about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, on it.
Right.
But we decided because the audio wasn't really good enough to release it as an audio version, we were going to skip that. However, if you do only listen to the audio podcast, the Texas Chainsaw review is available on our YouTube channel. So please check it out. Yeah.
Basically, somebody forgot to turn off the air conditioner. So it's like a constant.
Yeah, if you're watching the video version, it's probably, bearable to watch it. But yeah. I'm sure if you're listening to it just on headphones or something, it's probably not.
Nobody would want to do that. No.
But yeah, if you would like to know our thoughts on Texas Chainsaw Massacre, please check out our YouTube channel. Yep. You'll see a very distinct thumbnail playing on the original poster. Yep. I think we survived. I don't know what was left of us after, but
I survived.
So this week, I guess we mostly did horror on the last episode. I was going to talk about some merch I found this week. So
some merch.
This week in Japan, various independent cinemas, I found this out recently, are having a John Carpenter retrospective this week.
Retrospective,
which sounds very arty.
Okay.
Basically what it means is they're showing 4K remastered versions of 3 of his movies. I guess his 2 most famous movies are Halloween and The Thing. I'm guessing they've already been remastered by now, right?
Mm.
So these are 3 of his lesser films, but they're still very famous.
On that note, real quick, it's always kind of surprised me that the original Halloween is kind of hard to find in Japan.
It is very hard to find, that's true.
You can find like number 2 pretty easily, like on streaming services and all that.
Basically, the original series just wasn't really pushed in Japan.
Yeah, I assumed either that or maybe the original Halloween movie was just under a different licensing deal.
That could be distribution.
Yeah, like a distribution issue.
Yeah. But Freddy, Jason, and Chucky are all very famous in Japan.
Yeah, in Japan, everybody knows Chucky. Everybody knows Jason.
Chucky especially, actually, yeah. He might be the most famous of all of them, I think. With Jason, probably.
Freddy Krueger.
You can get all the Freddy movies in the DVD store.
It's not as widely known as Chucky and Jason, but I gotta say, the Halloween movies are...
Up until recently, the only one the rental store had near me was H2O. That was the only one they had.
Right, yeah.
I guess it got a distributor in Japan, but doesn't really make sense if you hadn't seen the original ones. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. And the recent reboot also is easily gettable.
Yeah, you can find that pretty easily.
Yeah. The Rob Zombie ones you can get, but the very first movie, is kind of very hard to find. Halloween 2 is on Amazon, I believe.
I tried really hard to find the original Halloween and I couldn't, so I think last year for Halloween, Halloween holiday, I just decided to watch Halloween 2 with my wife instead. We still haven't watched Halloween 1 together yet.
Did you notice Halloween 2 picks up straight from where Halloween 1 leaves off, and he jumps through a different window.
Really?
Yeah, the first one he falls out the bedroom window, and then the second one I think he falls out the front of the house window.
Interesting. Continuity mistake.
He's a great white shark. He just does what he wants.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, the 3 movies that they are showing as part of the John Carpenter retrospective are They Live, Escape from New York, and The Fog. Due to my working hours, I got to see The Fog last night in the cinema on the big screen.
Whoa, cool.
4K restored in a little cinema called Cinema Lunatic. So it's in the shopping...
I still haven't been there.
Alley, yeah. Every seat has a zabuton on it.
Really?
Like a 100 yen zabuton. Yeah.
That's funny. I've never been there before.
The guy who runs it has reading glasses chains.
What am I students from several years ago. She was up there in age, probably like early 80s. So she has like the quite an extensive knowledge of Matsuyama City. And she told me that Cinema Lunatic, like back in the day, used to be like a strip club.
I think it was a strip club
kind of place.
Yeah. If you've been there, you can tell that it has like a stage under the screen.
Really,
it's a bit kind of seedy. It's kind of got like a seedy vibe.
Yeah, that's kind of what I imagined.
I can just imagine like guys like sitting around in like this stage and some girl like ripping a fishnet sock or something.
Like a room filled with smoke.
Yeah. It's still smoking.
Really?
I think smoking's been banned there for like 30 years. It's in the walls. Yeah. It feels very historical, like old Matsuyama kind of vibe to it. Like a Suntory whiskey bar, like has that kind of style. It definitely has like a lot of atmosphere. I've been there twice. The first time I watched Dawn of the Dead there.
I'm surprised you've only been there twice.
Yeah, it's a little pricey. It's 1,800 for any time of the day. They show a lot of course, independent movies, but really just their hours kind of like conflict with my working hours. So
I imagine they're not open like all the time.
They're open most days. Their day off is Wednesday. I brought you a present, so I found a free flyer at the front. I picked up a bunch of them. And what's cool about this flyer is it's like designed to look like a VHS cassette.
Dude, that's awesome.
It's for Escape from New York, but it's actually the flyer for all three movies. Because on the back it has information about all three. I guess they just went with the...
That's really cool, dude. Thank you. New York, 1997. That's awesome.
And
what's his name? Snake Plissken?
Snake Plissken, yeah. Inspiration for Metal Gear Solid, I guess.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. Yeah, I think Hideo Kojima was like a huge fan of this movie. Whenever
I go to like movies I really like in Japanese cinemas, I always buy the pamphlet. It's usually around $8 to $10. It's like a book. It has like glossy pictures in it. And over time they do kind of accumulate value a little bit. And so I wanted to get the pamphlet for The Fog. And I went in and he just had like this flyer like up and like 1,300 yen below. So I was a bit confused and the movie was starting.
1,300 yen for that flyer?
Well, he just had the back of the flyer like on a stand. Like a
little easel.
An easel, yeah, that's right. After I went home, I checked out the retrospective website, and they actually had a picture of a pamphlet that came in a VHS box.
What?
And it looked really cool. And then I remember he had this like under his glass cabinet where you buy tickets, but he wasn't displaying it. It was a bit strange. Like you would think like an independent cinema in a pandemic would be like really trying to sell the merch or something.
Yeah, so like really, really like push their goods.
Yeah. So yeah, I went back today because I saw this. I was like, I have to own this. And yeah, this is designed like a VHS cassette. It was like a VHS cassette box.
That's crazy, man. I've never seen anything like that before.
Not in terms of like pamphlets. On the top it has the like obey by stuff from They Live. Have you seen They Live?
I haven't, no.
No. It's the Rowdy Roddy Piper, John Carpenter, maybe. If you open it up, it has like a VHS cassette.
That is really cool.
Yeah, if you can see that. And then this has like a little put out like information pamphlet thing. And some very sweet postcards.
These are all postcards?
These are all postcards, like a lot of them. There's 5 for each movie.
Jeez.
So that's the Snake Plissken one.
Obviously, you would never do this, but if you wanted to, you could probably make a lot of money selling that, like on an auction site.
Yeah. Like I picked this up because I thought in a few years this is going to be valuable. I think. Yeah. They all come with a postcard of the actual original poster, and then just stills from the movie. They've got like John Carpenter retrospective on the back and the title. Pretty sexy one over there.
Got the glamour shot.
And each movie has 5. So The Fog has the poster. They Live also has the pretty snazzy poster.
And that's so cool.
And
I love when people put in the time and effort to make like quality promo items.
And it has one postcard with subliminal messaging from They Live. Stay asleep. Don't wake up. Yeah.
I kind of want to use this postcard instead of our Compact Guys light box. Just put this somewhere in the corner. That'd be awesome.
So yeah, like I saw this online, and as the absolute fucking nerd that I am, went back and bought it.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, I'm thinking of framing the 3 poster ones like in a frame.
I would have never even known about this if you hadn't brought it up today.
This is like someone who like really put in a lot of thought into this, you know, like someone who has like actual talent at design. You know.
So is this a Japan only promotion?
Japan only.
Really?
Yeah. He had a bunch of these, so I don't know what he's going to do with them if he doesn't sell them. But, yeah.
You can always go back in a few days and be like, hey, if you're just going to throw those out, you know,
yeah.
I'll take them.
Like in America, how much would this go for on like a auction site?
To be honest, I think in Japan it would go for more.
Really?
Because like collectible stuff like tends to be more expensive in Japan.
But yeah, if you ever go to see a movie in Japan, even the big chains, they all have like all of the flyers laid out. I actually collect them, so I've got like more than 200, I think, now, just in folders at home.
Jeez.
Because now like they go for 400 or 500 yen. And my friend back in England, he loves movie posters and things, so I always take a folder back from when I go back to England. So here are all the posters. So
Dude,
I always pick up 3 of every one. But they're very cool. They're so well printed, and some of them are really well designed.
Yeah. Next time, maybe get 4.
I have 4 of all of them, so if you want them.
Yeah, I love them.
Sure. Yeah. I'll make you a folder.
Cool, thank you.
I have some of the really classic ones, like Midsummer, which I think is going to be hard to find at some point. So yeah, and that's a really nice one. It's like printed on like thick paper. So.
Yeah, they don't tend to do that in the States, the movie theaters.
They don't in England, no.
I'd imagine like in Japan everything's more expensive.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just movie studios' way of giving more incentive to go actually pay for a ticket at the theater. Like for example, CDs, music CDs are typically much more expensive in Japan than they are in the States. I'm assuming in the UK as well.
Sure. Yeah.
Let's say like a $15 CD in the States would cost like 3,000 yen or like $30 here. Music publishers typically do is they offer like Japan only bonus tracks as like a incentive,
a way to justify the price.
Yeah, an incentive to buy the like Japanese domestic version as opposed to buying like the like American copy of the CD.
Yeah, like a lot of the Japanese versions of like old albums are quite valuable in England, I think.
Yeah, because they have more content.
Yeah. They've got like bonus tracks that are only available here.
Right.
I know like the Smiths had like a bunch of Japan only tracks on their CDs. Yeah.
Like we were talking about Nine Inch Nails a little bit ago. That's another example. Like Nine Inch Nails albums sometimes have like Japan only bonus tracks that you'll never hear in the States.
And live recordings as well. Yeah. Like live in Tokyo or something. Yeah, but if you go to the cinema, definitely check out the merch. They will have like merchandise areas, and every movie has a pamphlet book. Doesn't matter which movie it is. They all have one designed.
I don't go to the theater very often in Japan, but like when I go, I tend to pick up a poster. My only issue is like I never developed a like folder system like you did. Like I'll pick it up and I'll just leave it around, and eventually it'll get like kind of warped, you know?
Oh, yeah. I take them home and immediately put them in the like folder file.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you. This is fantastic.
Yeah, it's cool.
Fantastic.
All right. Did you watch anything this week?
Yeah, I did. I never brought it up on the show, but I told you off camera. I decided to check out Disney Plus, like for a month to see how it is. In general, I'm very happy with the content. Like they got a lot of stuff.
Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah. They have like every episode of It's Always Sunny. They have The Fly, for example. They have...
Do they have The Fly too?
They don't. They don't.
It's not a big shame.
No. They also have all of the Alien and Predator movies.
Really?
Yeah. So...
Even Alien vs. Predator too?
I think so, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they have the Alien vs. Predator movies. In the past week or two, I've rewatched Aliens, and I watched for the first time Prometheus and Alien Covenant. I mainly wanted to talk about Prometheus and Alien Covenant.
Before we do that, did you recognize the Texas Chainsaw police guy in Aliens?
I was trying to.
He's the guy's like, Ripley, what the hell are you doing?
I couldn't remember his face in Texas Chainsaw.
It's the sweaty guy.
Okay, I didn't catch it.
He like blows himself up in the shaft in the air vent with Vasquez. They hate each other, but then she's like,
"Oh, okay."
He lights like a grenade. Yeah.
Gotcha.
He's that guy.
It's not like game over, man. It's not that guy, right?
Oh, not Bill Paxton. He died a couple of years ago. Bill
That
Paxton.
sucks.
Yeah, he was in Twister. Right?
It's a shame.
My most memorable memory of him is at the Universal Studios in America Twister attraction. He's like, "Hey, welcome to the Twister ride, man. We're gonna go on a wild ride." Me and my friend were like drunk and like BB. So we were like, "Yeah, man, sweet."
Was it a wild ride?
It was a room. It's just like a little room thing.
It was a ride. Anyway, when I was younger, I always preferred Aliens over Alien. I just thought it was a more exciting, more interesting movie.
I was the opposite actually.
Yeah. However, this time around, watching it now at like age 33, I don't know what changed. My taste in movies, my personality, I don't know what changed. But now it's the opposite. Now I find Alien a much more watchable movie compared to Aliens. Aliens feels much more dated. It feels more kind of cheesy, yeah. The characters feel more like two-dimensional. Yeah. Even the like horror scenes, I think in Alien are more effective.
Yeah. Well, they make more use of isolation and the feeling like something is kind of like stalking you, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of like Halloween in a way, like that. Like
Yeah.
It's more like a stalker movie than a. There's only one alien, right?
Right.
Aliens is more like the fear is reduced because it's easier to kill them. They're just like blasting them.
It's more of a popcorn flick.
But in the first one, you feel like it's like the Terminator. Like you can't kill it.
Right.
It's indestructible.
Right. Exactly. Also, the CG in Aliens did not age well. Anyway, my main point for today is to talk about
the new ones.
Yeah, Prometheus and Alien Covenant.
Okay.
Going in, I didn't know what to expect. I remember when Prometheus first came out, like there's a lot of hype behind it before it was released. And some people were saying it's like a Alien prequel. Some people were saying it's just like a spiritual predecessor. Like it wasn't really connected to Alien, but you know, being by Ridley Scott kind of is, but it's not connected totally.
Yeah, there was a lot of like hypothesizing about what it was. So is it just something that occurs in the same universe as Alien, or is it directly related to the coming about of the alien and how it came into existence or something?
So I remember all the speculation from the time, which was like back in like 2011 or 2012.
It was like a year before I moved to Japan, so around 2011.
Yeah. However, I never saw it at the time.
Okay.
I saw it this past week or 2 weeks ago. It was, a very cool movie. I really enjoyed it.
I saw it in the theater when it came out.
I thought the android character,
Michael Fassbender. Fassbender's character
is probably my favorite character in the movie.
He's most people's favorite character.
Yeah,
he's the most interesting character by far in it.
At least in Prometheus, like you can kind of tell he's trying to like mimic the dude from Lawrence of Arabia. I forgot his name, the actor.
Peter O'Toole.
Yeah, Peter O'Toole. Yeah, he kind of like models himself after him.
He has like a very like thespian
Yeah.
actor vibe going on or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost like a David Bowie feel, kind of.
He's very British.
Yeah. Yeah, it was obviously, after watching it, it was obvious what the movie actually was. It is kind of a like a backstory to like how everything started.
Yeah, it's a alien origin
Yeah,
story.
it is in the same universe. It is connected.
It is, yeah, directly. Yeah. I mean, the most striking thing about that movie is the like landscapes and things, like the size of the landscapes.
Yeah.
You know, the opening scene where the alien is like on Earth, I guess, almost like the waterfall, and he's like, it's very spectacular looking.
Oh yeah, by alien you mean like the creators of
Yeah.
What do they call them? The architects.
Architects.
Okay.
Yeah. I guess they pilot the spaceship that's on this planet that they go to. Yeah.
I think what I like most about, well, I guess the two movies, Prometheus and Alien Covenant, is they don't really overly explain who the architects are.
No,
They keep it very vague.
there are a couple like flashback scenes where they're all being like killed by this virus or something. You know, so they obviously have a civilization
Yeah.
on this planet, but we don't really know much about them. They're
Right.
very mysterious. Yeah.
All you really know is that they exist. They look like this,
Yeah.
and they, designed
They have like
humans.
a perfect DNA, from what I can understand.
Perfect.
But then they meld with shitty DNA. I guess as a spoiler. And this is how the alien, the xenomorph, comes to be.
So the next movie, Covenant.
Danny McBride.
Yeah, I was so happy to see him.
And the dude who got in trouble for the Chicago fake, like he said he got attacked in the street during a Arctic storm guy.
Oh, I remember that story.
A
Like,
scandal, yeah. He said that he got like attacked by white supremacists at 2 a.m. going to get a Subway sandwich in Chicago.
yeah, it turned out to be fake.
In like a polar vortex, is that what you call it?
He was. I'm trying to remember the context. The guy is.
Jussie Smollett, is that his name? Jussie Smollett?
He's a black guy, right?
Yeah.
I couldn't remember if he was gay or French.
He has a name, Jussie Smollett. Smollett.
Smollett.
It's Jussie Smollett.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's got like a very French name.
Yeah, okay. I remember now. Yeah. Dave Chappelle was making fun of him.
Yeah.
In his latest special.
Yeah. He appears in that film. So
Danny McBride.
Yeah. He's going to darker territory. You know, he started out Eastbound and Down and that kind of a lot of comedic roles.
Yeah.
But recently he's the writer of the new Halloween movies.
Yeah, that's insane. Yeah, you told me that recently.
If you like him, you should watch Vice Principals. That's a good TV show.
Okay, I'll check it out. Yeah, I'm a big fan of him. I just haven't seen any of his recent stuff.
Very funny, yeah.
One thing I thought was interesting was the titles of both movies. They're both named after the space vessel. Alien Covenant, it has a higher critic score online. Like the Rotten Tomatoes score is higher for Alien Covenant.
Does it, really?
Yeah. I
think they're kind of both on a par, to be honest.
like I consumed them like kind of back to back, so in my mind they're kind of like,
Yeah, they almost feel like one film, like cut in half kind of thing.
yeah.
Is there one you would slightly prefer over the other? Or?
It's hard to say. I think I would slightly prefer Covenant because it goes more into the backstory behind the xenomorph, whereas Prometheus doesn't go into that so much.
I really like the scenes of him like showing his like layer, the android, where he's been like developing the alien, and he like lures them in because he wants it to attack them, like see what it can do.
He shows like in his little area, he has a lot of like cross section, like illustrations and like.
He's got like his little flute. Space travel music.
Little like dissection stuff.
Yeah. His name's David, right?
It is David. It is.
Damn.
It is.
The evil name. Damien. David. And the final scene where you think like, I kind of guessed it. I thought it was kind of obvious that he's killed the other David and he's imitating. He's evil David.
See, I didn't catch that.
You didn't get that?
In the last scene, the girl right before she's right before she goes into cryo sleep, she says something like when we arrive, will you help me like build my house?
Yeah, and he promised her he would do that. So
Yeah,
a good David. Right.
I think it's the opposite.
Oh, the opposite. He
Right.
He flinches or something.
See, I didn't really understand it when I watched it, because she starts panicking, and then it becomes obvious, like, okay, he's actually.
I thought she
David.
panics because she doesn't know what. It's obvious he doesn't know what she's talking about.
I asked my wife afterwards because she has a pretty good eye for like minor details like that, and she was saying like that conversation about the house was held between like the bad David and the girl,
Oh, okay.
and I guess she never mentioned it to the good one.
All right, so he knows. I got it back to front. He knows this conversation.
Yeah.
So
Whereas like he really shouldn't have known, but he did know. So I guess she realized that, so she freaked out.
why would she be bringing it up at this moment?
I
To
don't know.
test him? It's kind of a weird place to be testing him. Right? He's literally got you in
It's
the cryo sleep or something.
it's a good time for some suspense, I guess. I don't know.
Anyway, she works out that he's bad,
Yep.
David, but she can't do anything because he's already like activated the cryo sleep thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're going to wake up with a xenomorph in you or something. So it's going to get up to no good.
Yep.
He's immortal, so he's just going to be awake the whole time. And then he goes and he puts like the xenomorph in like a tray kind of thing to like preserve it. So he's obviously going to use it at some point.
Between Prometheus and Alien Covenant and the original Alien, they all have similar body horror scenes.
Yeah.
They're all quite similar, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like it's being recycled. Like,
Right.
They're all different enough.
They are all different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alien is just your pure horror isolation movie. I think. Unknown, fear of the unknown. Nothing's explained. Where are they? What are they doing? Aliens is just like the Terminator 2 of the series. It's just
Right.
like full-on action scenes.
Exactly.
But it does have some creepy parts. Like I found, like when they find the people like got like aliens growing inside them, they've been like stuck to the wall kind of thing. The prosthetics look quite cool in those scenes. I still don't know how she went all the way underground, rescued the girl, fought the alien, got back out in like 4 minutes or something that she has like, on the time. So.
I'm about to go on a tangent. I don't know how familiar you are with the video game series Metroid.
I know a little bit. I played like the GameCube one.
You know, that's completely based on Alien and Aliens,
Oh,
right?
is it really?
Yeah. The most popular Metroid game is Super Metroid. It's for
I played that. Yeah.
Super Famicom. The very first segment in that game is like the main character, Samus, female character, like Ripley, right? First scene in the game, she's escaping the compound, like with a timer, and it's about to explode. You know, that's Aliens, right? The main baddie in the game, the like dragon creature, is called Ridley. It's yeah. Just like Metal Gear and Escape from New York have ties.
I see.
Alien and
Japanese
Metroid
game
have ties.
designers like Hollywood movies.
Yeah,
I gotcha. Yeah.
There are a lot of similarities between the two.
Okay.
If you like the Alien franchise and want to play a video game, I recommend the Metroid series.
I guess Alien 3 is kind of the weird one of the series. Like,
Directed by David Fincher.
yes, that's right.
I didn't know that until recently.
Yeah, it's directed by David Fincher.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like almost an entirely like British daytime soap opera cast.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a pretty weird movie. Like he famously like totally lost control of the movie. The studio just wouldn't let him do like what he wanted to do, and
Jeez.
he said like it's like the worst experience he ever had making a movie. Like a bit like David Lynch's experience with Dune, I guess. Like, he tried to get his name removed from it as well.
Not surprised.
Guillermo del Toro had a similar thing with Mimic. Apparently, he tried to get his name taken off that because Mimic.
I don't know.
It's like Guillermo del Toro's first English-speaking movie. They lost director's cut. I think they lost their power over the final edit, and the studio took over the edit.
Yeah, I've seen Alien 3 like in my 20s, I guess, over 10 years ago, but not recently. So now knowing it's a David Fincher film, I'm very curious because
it's really not much like any of his other films.
Okay,
but it's not a terrible film. It's not awful. It's better than Alien Resurrection. Okay, well, thanks for listening to the latest episode of Flood of Content. If you have any thoughts about the Alien series, like what's your favourite movie, let us know. And John Carpenter. What's your favourite John Carpenter movie?
Yeah. Or if you have any interesting or like memorable movie-going experiences, fond memories of going to the movie theater.
Well, I just watched a very old movie on the big screen. So, like, which movie would you most want to see on the big screen? Like a 80s movie or a 90s movie? You know, I was too young to watch Carpenter movies on the big screen. So,
right.
You know, now I had an opportunity to see it in that setting. It is quite different.
Yeah.
You know, I've been fortunate to see Blade Runner on the big screen, like Suspiria. You know,
yeah, we saw it together. Blade Runner.
Akira, only me. You'd fallen asleep.
Yes.
It was quite loud, maybe not. Yeah, it is quite interesting that when you watch like very old movies in a theatre, kind of look at them in a different way. You know?
Yeah.
I'd love to see the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original movie, in a theatre.
That would be great, man.
Right.
Yeah. Or if you have any interesting, what would you call them, local theaters, indie theaters in your town?
Yeah, what's playing? Yeah,
yeah.
I'd be curious to know. Well, yeah, if you liked this episode, please give us a like on YouTube. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. If you listen to the podcast version, please leave us a review and rate the podcast. Please share it with your friends.
Until next time.
See ya.
See ya.